Hello, friends. Welcome to the Osoka. My name is Delali Frank, and this is News Daily, where I serve you with all the major trending news in the last hours. Today, we're going to talk about a couple of things. We'll talk about Ghanaian players and their performance over the weekend. Thomas Partey has spoken on Arsenal's chances of winning the league. Antoine Semenyo's head coach has also said a couple of good things about him. Other Ghanaian players were on target over the weekend. Jordan scored a goal. He also said a couple of things about him scoring the goal. Inaki Williams was also on target. Other news around Ghanaian players is what we're going to discuss. We're also going to talk about the Ghana Premier League. I have the fixtures and the results over the weekend, the league table, and how the teams are positioned on the league table. So today is going to be everything that happened over the weekend. So without wasting much time, make sure that you don't go anywhere. Right, so let's start with the English Premier League and start with Thomas Partey. So Arsenal played against Newcastle United. I think in my previous video I talked about Newcastle United and Arsenal's game, where I did analysis on Thomas Partey's positioning in the Arsenal team. You can check it out in my previous video. But today we're going to talk about Thomas Partey and a couple of things he has said after that Arsenal defeats. So you know that a lot of us were expecting Arsenal to compete with Manchester City for the title, but it looks like Liverpool are basically now winning, like on lead after match day 9. It's early days yet, obviously, but Arsenal fans are not happy. So Thomas Partey was interviewed. He was asked about what he thinks about Arsenal's chances of winning the league, and is it obviously late? And he said a couple of things. He said that for him, he believes that the season is just in the early days yet. They have to do everything possible to keep the momentum and win some games. Arsenal are really struggling. They haven't won a game after the window, which is the international break. When they came back from the international break, they are yet to basically win a game, despite every team that they've played in the English Premier League. They are really struggling when it comes to results. Their fans are not happy with them. But Thomas Partey believes that with this current Arsenal squad, the season is just early days yet, and it's possible that they can do everything possible to fight for the title.
So Inter Milan next, so as Chelsea. What sort of reaction are you looking for from the team going forward?
Well, I think it's the best moment, to turn things around, to show that we are not just any team. We are Arsenal. We can do everything possible that is expected of us. Even though we lost today, we can come back and, do our best.
So does that mean you are still in that title challenge this season? I mean, the season is still long ahead.
Yeah, as you said, the season is long. We want to, get back to winning ways, try to win our games, and try to fight forward.
All right, thank you.
Right. Another Ghanaian player that we're going to talk about is Antoine Semenyo. He scored once again, when his side beat Bournemouth beat Manchester City. It was a game that a lot of investors were not happy with the results and the outcome, but Semenyo was on great form. He scored a brilliant goal for Bournemouth. And then after the game, his head coach has said a couple of good things about him. I think Semenyo has been one of Ghana's highest performing forwards in Europe or in the English Premier League. He currently has 4 goals, and he's currently the best performing player for Bournemouth, especially their forwards. He has won back-to-back Player of the Month awards, and for me, what he's doing for his club side is quite remarkable. Sometimes you just wish that they'll be able to replicate same performance and do a similar one for the national team, but that's a conversation for another day. So Semenyo's head coach after the game said this about Semenyo. He said Semenyo has been playing very well all season. I think we demand a lot from him because I believe he can give a lot. He scored, and everyone is giving him more recognition. That's true. You know that I brought you an update that other clubs are also interested in him. There's been Arsenal currently needs a forward, a striker. So Arsenal are really monitoring him. The other club that have shown interest in him, and his club has set his release clause as high as I think £50 million, and they are looking forward to any club that will show interest in him. They would let Semenyo go. Another Ghanaian player that was on target was Jordan Ayew. Jordan also scored for Crystal Palace. He came from the bench, came to score an equalizer for them. They were nearly losing that game against Ipswich Town, and they scored an equalizer. After the goal, he also spoke. He said that he's happy, and he saw it as a crazy moment for him to come and score from the bench. He scored a couple of goals for Crystal Palace this time around, but he said that he's happy with how Crystal Palace have treated him. Leicester City have treated him. It was Leicester City against Ipswich Town, and he scored a brilliant goal for them. He said that he likes how Leicester City have treated him as a player. Ever since he came, they've showed him a lot of love, and it's also exciting to give back to the club and play and do that, show up and give them that resource and that kind of games. And he was a happy kid. No, he's not a kid. He's an old man. He was a happy old man, and he said a couple of good things after the game. Right. Another Ghanaian player that was on target was Usman Ibrahim. He scored a very good goal for his club side. I think Usman, great player. When Ghana played in their previous qualifiers, he was not around. I think he was battling an injury, so he was not part of Otuado's squad. But obviously, he's one player that Otuado may call again. He scored. He came from the bench, scored in the late minutes for Feyenoord. You know, he was signed by Brighton and he was sent to loan there to get playing time, and so far he's doing very, very well. He's one of the Ghanaian players that scored over the weekend. Inaki Williams was also involved in Athletic Bilbao's game. He didn't score a goal. He created so many big chances, but unfortunately he really didn't get a goal out of that game. Another player that's had an injury scare is Alexander Djiku. He played for Fenerbahce's game, a very dramatic game. They managed to win the game against Galatasaray. I think 3-2. It was very dramatic, a very, very dramatic game. But Djiku himself caused the penalty, and through that penalty, he pulled an injury and he was subbed off. We are hoping that it's not a serious injury, because after next weekend, we are going for international break. And whether we like it or not, Ghana needs him to be around and to be available for us in our next game, I should say. So whether he's even coming to play for Ghana or not, it's not good to be getting Ghanaian players injured when they are playing for their club side. So we are hoping that he'll be fit and be ready to play for the Black Stars. Now let's go to Ghana and talk about the Ghana Premier League and some performance that we need to look at. So obviously, let's start with the results over the weekend. It was pretty much a busy weekend, honestly, and a shocking one. Some of the fixtures and the results were pretty much surprising, honestly. Let's look at Kumasi Asante Kotoko. But it started with Friday, where House of Oak went all the way to Takwa and beat Mediama by 2-0. That was the first time House of Oak had gotten a victory against Mediama since 2016. They beat them by 2-0 in a game that a lot of people were expecting Mediama to win, because Hearts themselves are really struggling. Accra Lions also played 1-1 with Samatex at home. Kotoko also lost to Heart of Lions by 1-0. Bashir Hayford has been suspended. I think 5 matches banned by the Ghana Football Association for an issue he had on authentication he had with a couple of people. So he has also been banned, but he's doing brilliantly well for Accra Lions. Accra Lions beats Asante Kotoko by 1-0. Kotoko is really going through it. Bechem United and Basek Holy Stars ended 2-2. Bekum Chelsea and Holy Stars ended 2-2. BBN Gold Stars and Dream FC ended 0-0. Kerala United lost to Nations FC. Nations FC went all the way away to beat Kerala United by 1-0. And I think that result should be my results of the weekend. Away in Tamale against Kerala United, tough one. They managed to beat them by 1-0. In Swatema beats Swatema and Bechem United game ended 2-2. Bechem United were playing at home. Vision FC drew 0-0 with Rihanna Stars at home. And I think that's the results for the weekend. Other match today is Monday. Another game that will be played today is Legon City versus Young Apostles at 7 p.m. at the University of Ghana Sports Stadium. Let's talk about the league table and how it stands now. BBN Go starts yes to lose a game. Are sitting on top of the league table with 19 points. Nations FC second place with 16 points. Kumasi Asante Kotoko third place with 15 points. Mediama 15 points at 4th place. Samatex Feet with 14 points. Heart of Lions 14th. Heart of Lions seat with 14 points. Heartsfolk are placed 8th with 12 points. When you come to the bottom, we have Adriana Stars, who has 8 points, which is 16th. Dream Sepsi 17th with 5 points. And then Legon City's 18th on the bottom with 5 points. Tough matches this time around. And the league table, the bottom teams are very surprising. Adriana Stars, once a title contending team. Dreams FC, after the Africa campaign, really the struggle. Legon Cities, I don't know what is happening. Ideally, you'd be expecting the newly promoted teams to be around here, but Charlie, the new promoted teams, them I read of Young Apostles is 13th, and then Basekte Holy Stars lie 12th on the league table. The newly promoted teams, but they know they play. Them know they play. I am really worried for Dreams FC, but let's see what happens. Guys, that's all for today. Until we meet again, my name is Delali Frank. Bye-bye for now.